i sfegata.
Османячение!
The mercenaries have breached the perimeter.
Bada bing. Should not be that hard. Okay. Let's go, Mike. What do you gotta say?
Friday i sfegata.
Cheers.
Friday by Rebecca Black is a good song.
Tomorrow is Saturday and Sunday comes after.
And if music is only subjective, you can't argue otherwise. In my last video, I made some bold claims about music, not least of which, I think music is objective. Some people really enjoyed this video and really liked this point of view, even if they didn't fully agree with me. Some people unsubscribed from my channel over this, which is hilarious and sad. And I think that demonstrates exactly why this series of videos needs to be made. Music subjectivity is not only the dominant paradigm in music creation and discussion, but it's so sacrosanct as to be treated as dogma. People will see you as morally inferior, bigoted, and contrarian if you say music is objective. Now look, it's one thing for someone to think that I'm wrong about music objectivity. It's another to refuse to even engage with the video and to stop watching my videos because they disagree. They won't even entertain the possibility that music could be objective. This is one of many signs of being in a cult. And in this case, a cult of subjectivity and relativism. So you know what? I'll grant all of their premises. Let's play on the cult's turf. Hypothetically, say music is completely subjective. Now, I declare that Rebecca Black's Friday is a good song. If music is only subjective, explain to me how that could possibly be wrong. Pretty much the entire world had a visceral reaction to how awful Friday by Rebecca Black is. So much so that it became an online cultural touchstone. When that many people feel that strongly about Friday being a bad song, maybe, just maybe, that indicates an objective quality about it. But if music is only subjective, that observation must be dismissed. And I, the lonely contrarian, can make the claim, this song is good actually, and no one has the epistemological framework to argue against me. What's even more ironic is in my own music objectivity framework, I can actually make an argument that Friday is a good song. No, seriously, by the end of this video, if you allow yourself a little open-mindedness, you will agree with me that Friday is a good song. Okay, clickbait is so amazing, isn't it? There is a caveat to this statement.
So what I told you was true.
So,
Music objectivity framework, I can actually make an argument that Friday is a good song. No, seriously, by the end of this video, if you allow yourself a little open-mindedness, you will agree with me that Friday is a good song. Okay, clickbait is so amazing, isn't it? There is a caveat to this statement.
So what I told you was true, from a certain point of view.
A certain point of view?
Okay, the claim that Friday is a good song is absolutely overselling and exaggerating. Some might even say lying. More accurately, if you come along with me on this journey, I think you'll see that there is real objective goodness in Friday, even though it does suck. Like I just said, it'd be very unwise to simply dismiss such a powerful consensus that Friday is an awful song. No, I am not saying that consensus determines quality. What I am saying is that it's almost like people used their subjective judgment to arrive at a conclusion about the objective nature of Friday. It's almost like music is objective, and it's also subjective. But how can it be both? Well, find out in the next video. Welcome to the next video.
good. I guess I should have actually watched the first episode, but
Level 2 is my favorite. Is that a moral failing?
Absolutely not. Bad taste is not a moral failing, nor is bad taste a failing.
But it's bad.
A delicious paradox.
This is the second video in a series I'm doing on the objectivity of music. If you haven't seen the first video, there'll be a link to it and a playlist of all the videos in this series in the description. My definition for music that I laid out in that video is foundational for understanding all the other concepts I'm going to be touching on, so I definitely recommend watching that one. It's not absolutely necessary, but it'll make the points I'm raising more meaningful. In today's video, I'm going to present an argument for how we might try to consider Friday by Rebecca Black a good song. Can we actually evaluate it and see any goodness in it? It's the worst song ever created in the world, right? It is not that I actually think it's a song with great artistic merit. Far from it. But there is a lot of music goodness in the song that I think gets taken for granted. Because Friday was such a powerful moment in music history, it provides a great springboard for me to demonstrate that there is both objectivity and subjectivity in music. And this will help us explore what people mean when they say a song is good or bad. Because when someone says a song is good, I mean, that's fairly soft language, right? That can mean so many different things to so many different people. So untangling that will hopefully help us level up our music dialogue and help you better understand why you like the songs that you do. Before we can talk about goodness and badness, we have to address subjectivity and objectivity in music. If we can't agree on music having any objective qualities to it, it's absurd to think we can call anything good or bad, right? So music is both objective and subjective, but how can it be both? Well, let's use an example. Say there's an object floating in space, and this is you, the subject. You can't see all of the object just by looking at it from one angle, so by changing your perspective, it helps you see more sides of the object. We'd say this is the subjective perspective, or what the subject is able to see and how they interpret what they're seeing. The objective aspect is, well, the object, the thing being observed. Regardless of what the subject is interpreting, there are qualities about the object that don't change. They remain constant. So if a song is the object and the listener is the subject, this is the foundation of how music can be both objective and subjective. Something being both objective and subjective is what I refer to as contextual. Now, this kind of seems like a bit of a cop-out, right? You might be thinking, well, duh, yeah, a recorded song doesn't change, but that's not what someone means when they say music is objective.
Yeah, this Muse album, it's not good.
Usually they're implying that there's better and worse music. You know, that's the thing that strikes fear in your heart. Like the Nazis will rise up and throw down all the rock and roll hippies. A lot of times it's implied that people who believe in music objectivity think you're wrong for listening to the worst music. So what's really funny to me is the same people who pretend there's no such thing as bad music make value judgments about music all the time. Everyone who listens to a song immediately has a judgment about how good or bad it is. Don't believe me? Let's look at two examples. Example one,
Or watch my
amateurs. Example two, professionals. It didn't take a music expert to tell that the amateurs were worse than the professionals. The two different musics that were made were not of the same quality. Everyone across the entirety of human existence would agree that professionals are better than amateurs. And before you come at me with some relativist mumbo jumbo, no, this is not a cultural construct. It is a foundational part of human psychology. And I briefly addressed some of the science of music perception in my last video. There will be more videos in the future that go into the science of music and perception. So if everyone can listen to these two different bands and agree which band is objectively better, either A, every person in history is seeing an objective quality in the professionals that the amateurs don't have, or B, it's a collective illusion, man. You're being oppressed by other people's opinions that have been passed down to you against your will, man. If you really believe every person who can plainly see that pros are better than amateurs are just fooling themselves, it's all just made up in their head, or it's all something that's just been programmed into them, they were a blank slate before all of this, you have much greater faith in defying the odds than I do. That's astronomically, unfathomably unlikely. That every person sees the same quality, but that quality doesn't actually exist. It's just an illusion. It's not like it's just some weird elusive quality. I identified what that quality was in my last video. It's called order. And now bringing this back to Friday by Rebecca Black, either everyone noticed something objectively off with that song, or it was mere coincidence that the entire world collectively vomited when that song was dropped. The example I used with pros and amateurs is just...
What even was that? Was that like 2013, 2014? I remember where I was when I first heard it, how old I was, where I was living. Such a different time in my life, such a more simpler time in my life, a lot more naive time in my life. I want to go back. Like, for me, Friday by Rebecca Black represents a simpler time. Like, I'm nostalgic for the time of Friday by Rebecca Black.
Judging music by competency, which is easier to evaluate. Let's try a harder example. Let's go back to my subject and object diagram. Now, let's replace the object with a song. Say, Bleed by Meshuggah. Now let's say the subject is a listener. Let's call him Bob. In the original example, I was using physical position as the origin of perspective, but now let's imagine perspective as Bob's circumstances. What are all of the circumstances that contribute to Bob's perspective, and therefore what he is able to see and what he is able to digest? There are so many circumstances that it'd be impossible to list them all, but just to name a few: age, sex, nationality, race, date and time of listening, the environment you're listening in, mood, health, psychological makeup, brain chemistry, music experience, and I could go on ad infinitum. That is a very, very short list. Your circumstances are the accumulation of all of the different factors that make you, you. This informs your perspective on music. Or, I mean, if you want to think about it this way in this diagram, as what position you're in to observe the song. Everyone's exact perspective is technically unique, though many are very similar to one another, but they can also be wildly different. So let's say this subject, Bob, is listening to Bleed from this perspective, and he really likes the song. But now let's add a very different subject. Let's call her Katie. She's listening to Bleed from this perspective, and she doesn't like the song. Like I mentioned in the pros versus amateurs example, people are always analyzing music they listen to, whether they realize it or not. And liking or disliking a song is a kind of analysis. It's the most surface level analysis, but it's still useful. So how can we go deeper into analyzing a song besides like and dislike? When Bob is asked why he
This is actually something that I think about like a whole hell of a lot. Obviously, you guys should go like the video, subscribe to Become the Knight. He's a good lad. Makes good videos. Ooh. Get back here. Obviously, if you guys are here for like the SOCOM, we're changing things up a bit. You know, I always listen to music, but feel like switching up because obviously, like, just listening to copyright music makes for a short stream because it always gets taken down after a couple hours. So plus a little bit of dynamicism, for lack of a better term, keeps these streams fresh because, I mean, should be obvious. But maybe that's subjective. Oh, all right, let's keep going.
He likes the song, he says it helps him focus. It gets him motivated and locked in. When Katie is asked why she doesn't like the song, she says it's distracting and gives her anxiety. Two completely different reactions to the exact same song. This means music is actually subjective, right? Well, no, it means subjects are subjective. The object, the song, hasn't changed. Its contents and properties are constant. The variable is the person listening to it. The subject is subjective. For instance, have you ever listened to a song once and hated it, but given more time and more exposure or a different context, you actually grew to love the song? The song didn't change.
100%.
You did. You changed your perspective to see a different, true perspective of the same work. It is true that Bleed by Meshuggah is a great song for helping people focus. It's also true that Bleed is horrible for helping other people focus. How can the same song have two contradictory properties? Well, it doesn't. What I just described are not properties of Bleed. They're effects. I want to make sure I'm clear on this. The way a song affects a person is not a property of the song itself. It'd be like saying a property of baseball bats is that they make baseballs fly. No, that's one effect a baseball bat can have when you use it. The properties of a baseball bat include being long, smooth, and easy to swing. These are properties that people can use to make baseballs fly, but they can also use them to tap dirt off of their cleats or to hurt people. The same properties of a bat, long, smooth, swingable, can be used for three completely different effects. So how do we apply this to music? Well, I mean, looking at Bleed again, if we see that this kind of person focuses while listening to Bleed, and this other kind of person gets anxious, we can begin to see what is objective about the song where these two feelings intersect. Bleed is aggressive, ugly, brutal, tight, pulsing, loud. In certain contexts, this can serve to help people focus. In other contexts, this will destroy people's focus. This is what I mean by saying music is contextual. The object stays the same, but the subject's perspective, their context, determines what they're able to see, and perspectives will change over time. I want to make sure I'm clear about this. Music is highly personal. I'm not trying to depersonalize this whatsoever. And this is why so many people default to saying that music is subjective and leaving it at that. But there are also objective qualities in a song that we can identify and say that it has regardless of who is listening to it. That is the objective portion to music. So after all that very complicated abstract analysis, how do we know whether Bleed is good or bad? Man, what a can of worms to open. How can we say any song is objectively good or bad? These are not questions that can be answered in a segment of a video or just even one video alone. Throughout the series, I'll be unpacking how we evaluate music and how we can learn to evaluate it better. Today, I want to establish that framework, what I'm currently calling my metrics of music goodness. I wish I had a better term for it. Please, someone help me come up with a better term, because that is such a mouthful. It's so unsexy and unsellable. Metrics of music goodness. Ugh, sounds sterile. Okay, so before we go any further, if we're going to call music good or bad, we first have to start with, what does good mean? Well, really the better question is, what do people mean when they call a song good? I mean, it sounds like a stupid question, right? Mike, if someone calls a song good, that obviously means that they like the song. Really? You've never called a song good that you didn't actually like? Because I do that all the time. My entire review of Opeth's last Will and Testament album is me struggling to figure out if I actually like the album, even though I acknowledge it's a great album. For the record, I concluded I actually don't think I like the album. But it's still awesome. And I know I'm not...
Oh, that's kind of like... I mean, I'm so mixed about the new album. Like, I think it's good, you know, but like I haven't revisited it that much. It's so odd. It's so that's a whole other topic though. That's funny.
The only one struggling to figure out if I actually like the album, even though I acknowledge it's a great album. For the record, I concluded I actually don't think I like the album. But it's still awesome. And I know I'm not the only one who does this. There's many people I've seen who've said that they can tell a piece of music is good in some way, but they don't really like listening to it. So if we can affirm that we don't like a piece of music, but that there's still something good in it, that seems to suggest that saying something is good extends beyond personal preference, right? So if that's the case, what are all the ways that a person could call a song good? I spent a lot of time thinking about all the ways people use the term good to describe music, and I think I've nailed it down to 6 different forms of music goodness, if you will. In this video, I'm going to list all of them, lay out some fundamental principles of how they work together, and give a brief overview of each one so you know what I mean. Later in the series, I'm going to deep dive into each one of these forms of music goodness, so keep that in mind as we go through, because I'm not going to be able to give an accurate full capture of all of these things. I hate when I hit my microphone. It does a little there's a deep sub shit which ruins my recordings. I know this is going to raise more questions than it gives you answers, but trust me, there's a method to my madness. Okay, so the 6 forms of music goodness are taste, or simply personal preference. Definitional. How well does a song fit into existing definitions of music and its genre? Utility. Is the song useful? What is the song's best use? Psychological. Does the song serve a psychological benefit to the listener? Aesthetic. What are the aesthetic properties of the piece? What is the aesthetic merit of the piece? What meaning does the piece communicate? Moral. Is the song morally good? You may recognize these from my last 2 album reviews. Yes, I've been working on this for years now, trying to test and refine these ideas. I'm still no expert at this. It's far from simple, and I'm not going to pretend as though my perspective or my opinion on how this works is actually worth a damn. But the actual framework itself and the underlying principles and descriptive facts that support it, I think are worth a damn. And I think that this framework is pretty holistic at capturing all the ways people use the term good to describe music. These are the metrics I could come up with. I could be wrong, and I'm really interested to hear what other people's ideas on this are. If you aren't quite getting it or following along, give it a little bit more time, and I think it will make more sense by the end of the video. Let's look at each one of these metrics individually, starting with taste. This one is pretty simple. Did you like what you listened to? How much did you like it? When people discuss music, this is usually what they mean when they say a song is good or bad. And sadly, for a lot of people, this is about as far as their analysis ever goes. From just a taste perspective, perceived quality is entirely dependent upon one's own enjoyment of a song. This is the most subjective way of evaluating music, the most individual and transitory, the most fluid. Whether or not we like a song depends greatly on our individual circumstances, like I mentioned earlier in that diagram. Because taste is so subjective, it's the least reliable for measuring any objective goodness. But It is a very important component to assessing objective goodness, because this is our first entryway into identifying something good or bad. Taste is our first level of judgment, the first level of evaluation. Did we enjoy the song? I mean, we should agree that in an ideal world, enjoyable art is good art and good art is enjoyable art, right? And yeah, I mean, there can be exceptions, but in this case, I would say the exceptions prove the rule. Having a positive reaction to a song is a signal that there's something musically good in it. Our enjoyment, the beauty we touch, the meaning we touch, the connection we experience in a song is a sign of some level of goodness or truth we're engaging in. Just because we like something, that doesn't necessarily mean it's good in the sense that actually matters, which I'll talk about at the end of the video. And I'm about to say something that's going to upset some people. It is possible for people's taste to be bad. What does having bad taste mean? Well, it can mean a few things. It can mean you have a strong or exclusive preference for lower order art and have little appreciation for higher order art. We will come back to this idea later. Do not fixate too hard on it just yet. Or it means that you like something that is objectively bad. I know I haven't supported the idea that objectively bad exists yet, but follow me along here. When we get to the end of these metrics, you will understand what I mean. And I think this is really what I want to drive home on taste right now. The moment that I brought up the idea of bad taste, I could immediately hear the audience saying, "Who are you to police what people enjoy?" Well, for starters, I'm not policing it. I'm merely making my own judgment about it. And I think that sense that actually matters, which I'll talk about at the end of the video. And I'm about to say something that's going to upset some people. It is possible for people's taste to be bad.
Yes. I mean, even if it doesn't have to do with music.
What does having bad taste mean? Well, it can mean a few things. It can mean you have a strong or exclusive preference for lower order art and have little appreciation for higher order art. We will come back to this idea later. Do not fixate too hard on it just yet. Or it means that you like something that is objectively bad. I know I haven't supported the idea that objectively bad exists yet, but follow me along here. When we get to the end of these metrics, you will understand what I mean. And I think this is really what I want to drive home on taste right now. The moment that I brought up the idea of bad taste, I could immediately hear the audience saying, "Who are you to police what people enjoy?" Well, for starters, I'm not policing it. I'm merely making my own judgment about it. And I think that you actually agree with this too. For example, if someone is enjoying music that was proclaiming the glories of the Third Reich, unironically, and called for a reforming of that horrific regime, I think we'd all agree that's not a good thing to enjoy, even ironically. Yeah, it's an extreme example, but I include it to demonstrate there is a line somewhere that not only is enjoyment not the final arbiter of goodness, but it can be a bad thing to enjoy bad things. Taste can be malformed. Enjoyment itself is not the most fundamental justification in art and entertainment, nor a metric by which we can determine the level of artistry.
Yeah, it's like if you enjoy music made by bad people and the music is a reflection of the bad qualities of those people, it's safe to say that you have bad tastes. You know, I mean, you could, I don't know if appreciate is the right word. Appreciate it to some extent or another, ironically, but you know, but if you're telling me that you enjoy stuff from like actually enjoy stuff from like National Socialist black metal bands, or fucking, I don't know, Tom McDonald, or Falling in Reverse. It's like, I mean, what does that say about you, you know? Ooh, I'm gonna get this fucking... Anyway.
For example, I would argue Uptown Funk does not have the same level of aesthetic sophistication as Chopin's Opus 10 No. 6. To be very clear, I love both of these songs. I could go on for days about the masterpiece that is Uptown Funk.
It's actually always nice to hear Uptown Funk come on the radio, like walking into like a gas station or, you know, grocery store, something like that. It kind of slaps.
I think it is so entertainment goodness, but it can be a bad thing to enjoy bad things. taste can be malformed. Enjoyment itself
Yes.
is not the most fundamental justification in art and entertainment, nor a metric by which we can determine the level of artistry. For example, I would argue Uptown Funk does not have the same level of aesthetic sophistication as Chopin's Opus 10 No. 6. To be very clear, I love both of these songs. I could go on for days about the masterpiece that is Uptown Funk. I think it is mathematically perfect. But to foreshadow later into the video, fun is not the strongest or best way of engaging in meaning, and music fundamentally deals in meaning. And also, to make sure I clarify, fun is very important. I am not saying that we need to throw out fun. Stupid fun is a very good thing in moderation, in its proper ordered place. Fun for the sake of itself, unmoored from reality and self-development, can be quite bad. Even if the fun is good and wholesome fun, overindulging in it can hinder your development as a person. So while taste is an important first step in evaluating a song, it's merely the entryway. People's tastes can change for so many different reasons. If we relied on taste as the only measuring stick of music goodness, our culture would quickly devolve into an arms race for spectacle and dopamine. Does that remind you of anything?
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
If you want to understand how popular music across most genres got dumbed down into everything sounding the same, well, making music in a world where immediate gratification is king is your answer. Society tells us that we really shouldn't think that much about music. In fact, you're actually bad for thinking about music this much. You're basically a Nazi if you think only catering to the lowest common denominator is a recipe for social decay. And the only interesting way of making not pop music is by being transgressive.
You said a little while ago that you sing mainly about drugs, is that right?
Sometimes.
Why do you do this?
Because I think the government's plotting against me.
Why do you say that?
There is so much more to say about taste as a metric of music goodness. And I think it explains so much of why we're careening towards musical dystopia today. I'll examine this more in my dedicated video on taste, but for now, let's see how this applies to Friday. For the sake of time, these analyses in each metric section will be fairly surface level and brief, but I just want to illustrate how you can actually change your perspective on a song depending upon what lens you look at it with. There is a lot of context through which to examine any song, even one as painfully inelegant as Friday. Like I mentioned in the intro,
which is something I haven't done a deep dive on yet regarding the way that I review music, and I haven't even really started reviewing music the way that I want to review music on my channel, but I do have a method, and of course everybody's interpretation and methods of enjoying and considering music is different. Ah, you little frick.
this was considered to be even lens you look at it with. There is a lot of context through which to examine any song, even one as painfully inelegant as Friday. Like I mentioned in the intro, this was considered to be one of the worst songs ever written.
Her music video went viral after it was blasted as the worst song ever.
But is it actually one of the worst songs ever written? We'll answer that later in the video. But from the lens of taste, it seems like the consensus opinion was that this was not to most people's taste. I can at least speak for myself that it was not to my taste. It's really not a very useful lens in and of itself. Like, this is as far as pure subjectivity in music can ever epistemologically go. Which basically means like, oh, well, I didn't like it. That's good. Sweet, dude. It's not really that useful by itself. But this initial simple level of analysis invites us to dig a little deeper. Why does it not suit our tastes? We'll get to that. But first, we have to move on to the next form of music goodness, which is definitional. My first video in this series talked about this a lot. What is the definition of music? And I mean, if I already defined music as best I could, what could possibly be left to say about the definition of music? Oh, well, a lot, actually. When people think about definitions, they usually think of something very dry, dull, boring, like learning vocabulary in elementary school or like reading a dictionary against your will. We don't usually associate definitions with value judgments, like calling something good or bad. But what's funny is we actually make those judgments based upon definitions all the time. Remember my example earlier in the video comparing the professional band to the amateur band? You could identify which band was better based upon how well they made music that fit into the definition of music. You might think to yourself, what does that example have to do with how we define music? One band was simply better at making music than the other. That's exactly it. Let me reword that thought for you. The professional band was able to make something that resembles music or fits better into the definition of music than the amateur band. This way of evaluating music is judging competency. And this is arguably a more fundamental way of evaluating music than even taste is. When we evaluate competency, we're actually judging how well something fits into a definition. Aristotle takes this idea even further and says that it's not how well the sound fits into the definition of music, but how well it aligns with the telos of music, or how well a thing fulfills its nature. I will dive deeper into all of this stuff when we do a deep dive into definitional goodness in its own dedicated video, I promise you. All this talk about the definition of music may seem very important, but then also at the same time feels like a fruitless endeavor. I mean, after all, music is, say it with me now, ineffable. Music is impossible to define with words because by music's own nature, it defies words. So this puts us in a rough spot. But what's interesting is that not every definition needs to be perfectly encapsulated in words. In fact, many classical thinkers believed a thing can have a real definition grounded in its nature, even if that definition cannot be exhaustively captured in words. To put it simply, you know what music is when you hear it. It's that fundamental to the human experience. This is why I spent so much time in the last video examining whether these bizarre pieces like Metal Machine Music or 433 were music or noise. We can quickly identify they aren't speech or language, so that means they're either music or noise. This is another way we can determine the definitional goodness of music. There's competency in doing really good top-tier ASMR content. It just doesn't fit the definition of music. It's an extremely complicated topic to tackle because, as anyone knows, the definition of music has even changed over time. So does that make all of our evaluations of music completely subjective and circumstantial? No. And I can't elaborate here without adding another 30 minutes to this video. So that's where we're gonna have to wait. I apologize. But regardless of whether you believe music is fully subjective or not, comparing sounds that people observe to the definition of music that they have in their head is one of the ways humans make value judgments about music. So how does Friday measure up in definitional goodness? There's a few ways to look at this. From a very basic level, it's competent enough to be recognized and understood as music. So I mean, I guess in that way alone, it gives some level of goodness. I mean, I could just leave it there and say, it's a good song.
From a certain point of view.
But I mean, it's not just music, it's a pop song. And pop songs have their own definition that they need to fit into. Does it fit the definition of a pop song? If we think about the sound of pop songs in the 2010s, especially songs aimed at children, on a surface level timbre analysis, you could say, yeah, it fits that definition.
It's Friday, Friday, gotta get down on Friday.
But if we take the name literally, popular, that implies that it's intended to be well-liked, widely accessible, and enjoyable. And given the extreme backlash against this song, you could argue it really doesn't fit into the definition of a pop song, therefore not being a good pop song. I think this is where many people land on it with their intuitions. It has the aesthetics and appearance of being a pop song, but it feels like it's wearing the skin suit of popular music from that time.
But the song has become famous for all the wrong reasons.
Gotta jump, jump, gotta pet a cat. Blueberry, strawberry, so many berries.
Rolling Stone called Friday an unintentional parody of modern pop.
It's uncanny and cringy. Because the disgust reaction is so strong in people who listen to it, and because we are blessed with so much incredibly competent music in our daily lives, it's so easy to take for granted how much they actually got right in this song. Like, I mean, it fits the definition of music. Do you know how many people try to make music and are horrible at it? They don't make things that actually sound like music. Even though that goodness is there, like, I mean, this is something we can identify, it is music, and that's good. That does not outweigh the implied intent, which is, you know, people need to enjoy it. Which takes me cleanly into our next metric, utility. Utility is just how music is used. We usually think of music and art as stuff that should be very emotional, spiritual, transcendent, maybe even like a little bit compulsive. And we think of utility as being, well, I mean, utilitarian, as something very dry, devoid of feeling and heart, just what needs to be done to reach a desired end. But how can something like music, evoking beauty, joy, raw emotion, be evaluated by something as soulless as utility? Well, what if your desired end is evoking a specific emotion? In that case, utility is a very important way of evaluating music. For instance, let's just listen to this song for a moment. For those of you who know, don't say anything about the song, just let it play. Don't comment about it. I mean, it's nice. It's not something you'd pay real close attention to, but maybe something you put on in the background. It's certainly not something you would find yourself singing in the car or like looking up to add to your workout playlist, right? So we know the song probably wasn't made for those things, right? But now let's listen to the song in the context of what it was made for.
I only counsel caution. We cannot afford to act rashly in times like these.
Oh, is this Skyrim?
My lord, what would you have me do then? You have to listen.
What's the meaning of this interruption?
Please.
Jarl Balgrush is not receiving visitors.
I just think we need more information before we act. Who's this then?
Well, that explains why the guards let you in. Come on then. The Jarl will want to speak to you personally.
Skyrim's so fucking good, dude.
So, you were at Helgen. You saw this dragon with your own eyes?
It perfectly suits the mood. And it works whether you're in a dialogue situation or freely roaming the castle. The song was written as one part of a greater multimedia experience, and it serves that purpose well. Now, let's change the context of the song to something that's probably a lot less appropriate. At best, we would call this awkward, right? The music is at best, we would call this awkward, right? The music is good, but it's just not good in this context specifically. Okay, let me try applying this track to another piece of club footage, and let's see what happens then.
It's better. Oh my god. They were just waiting for us.
Now that felt more appropriate. Even though the visual and audio were giving you contrasting emotions, it didn't feel completely out of place, right? The club footage on a surface level evokes the feelings of happiness and celebration, while the music evokes melancholy and introspection. Where the two meet aesthetically is how the video is shot in slow motion and has no sound effects. This sterilizes the typical joy and excitement of the club experience and opens the door to contextualize the footage around a perspective that examines the sad side of going to the club. Thus, the music fits a little bit more appropriately. Not perfect by any shot, but certainly more appropriately than the first one. This is some of the basics of evaluating the utility of music. How is the piece intended to be used? And I mean, can it be used well in other ways? And that's just trying to use it as part of a multimedia presentation. Let's think of some simple stuff that most of us do every day. I mean, like picking music to work out to, picking music to drive to, picking music for relaxation, for meditation, for motivation. This kind of mood regulation and focus is usually the most common utility of music. This is starting to get ahead of ourselves and getting into the next metric of goodness. So before we get there, let's consider what Friday is good for. Now, I mean, if we want to look at the utility of it more cynically, the song was meant to launch Rebecca Black's career, which it did super well, actually.
Her music video went viral after it was blasted as the worst song ever. We just said that, and here's the numbers. 16 million hits online and climbing.
Went up 2 million downloads last night alone. It's obviously made Rebecca Black an instant hit. She is now totally famous.
Even if it's considered one of the worst songs ever written, it rocketed her into the spotlight and set her up to garner tons of attention for her follow-up releases. I'm not really sure I'd qualify this as like music goodness, even though that music did serve that as a utility. Using a piece of art for purely business purposes with like no care or attention paid to art's primary goal, which is transcendence and meaning. And I mean, I'm not saying that she did this for a completely cynical play. I mean, on the contrary, I think she was just a teen with stars in her eyes, and this was her best crack at a first attempt to get music out there and launch her career. But I mean, even at the most cynical level of analysis of utility, I really do struggle to call this good. But I am open to hearing other arguments on that. I'm not completely closed off on this. I'm just really not sure I can spin this into any substantial music goodness from a utility perspective. I mean, like, there are pieces of art that are so bad they're good, but I don't think that it even meets that criteria. Trying to evaluate the utility of Friday really begs another question. Why are some songs better for certain things than others? I can give you some hints at the answers by pointing to the next two metrics of music goodness, starting with psychological.
I mean, I was expecting Mike to get like super detailed, because he does put a lot of work into his videos, a lot of work. But this is going a lot deeper than I even expected.
Much of how we evaluate the first three metrics of goodness, taste, definitional, and utility, are bound up in the psychological music experience. This is kind of the meat of music goodness. If you're watching this far into the video, I assume you've probably heard that music has some very real benefits for the mind. Music can aid in mood regulation, focus, stress reduction, learning, and neuroplasticity. If you're a parent, you've probably heard how crucial it is to introduce musical play to your children early, because it can greatly increase their capacity to learn. I'm sure most of you have heard stuff like this before, right? But I imagine only a few of you will have heard the name Leonid Perlovsky. And those of you who have heard the name probably just broke your retinal stems from how hard your eyes just rolled into the back of your head. Leonid Perlovsky is a neuroscientist and researcher. His research on mapping the mind and trying to make psychology a hard science has been used in developing the neural networks in our AI models that we use every day. Perlovsky also has a passion for music and has done much research in music psychology and cognition. He has a theory that music is psychologically necessary for all human life, and how it emerged from man's need to resolve cognitive dissonances created by language. Look, it's all very complicated. I don't want to lose any more viewers than I already have. I'm only bringing this up to illustrate that from a purely materialist perspective, psychology is kind of the bedrock for music analysis. Any way in which we want to evaluate taste, definition, and utility, it all depends upon perception. And our perception is informed by our mental state. So if we understand how music affects our mental state, or how our mental state colors our perception, we have a more grounded understanding of why we do or don't like something. I don't want to spend a ton of time on the psychology of music right now, because going too far in any direction will quickly just derail this. And I think it's already a challenge to hold your attention, and this is already a very dense video. So instead, let's move on to looking at Friday. Is there any psychological goodness in Friday? I will be honest, I struggled to find any psychological goodness in it. So I asked ChatGPT. It gave me some interesting answers I hadn't really considered. ChatGPT says the song is low demand on cognition, or you could say it's easy on the brain. So in theory, it should be easy to digest. I mean, if we delete the vocals, I could probably agree with that. But the moment those vocals come in, realistically, your mind is bombarded with cognitive dissonance. ChatGPT also said that the song should provide mood regulation due to predictability, because there's no surprises in the song, right? I mean, maybe after you've numbed yourself to the shock of the first time the vocals come in, I might be able to buy that, maybe. For that one, I'll give GPT a half a point, okay? The next one is very interesting, and I'm still not sure if it counts or not. Let's see. It said that Friday gave social bonding through a shared cultural experience. I mean, it became a meme. It was a joke that everyone could agree to laugh at, right? A touchstone through which to relate to one another. Something is nagging at me that it's not quite the kind of music psychology we're talking about. Like, psychological goodness emerged from bonding over how cringy the lyrics are and the vocals. It's not due to how compelling the music is. For now, I would disqualify it, but I am open to having my mind changed on that. What I can say is that there are so many different kinds of people out there. I am sure some tiny minority of people got psychological benefit from listening to the song, like, unironically. I am sure there are people who even enjoy the song unironically. So, I mean, I wouldn't say it's completely devoid of psychological goodness. Though, with how incredibly painful it is to most people to experience the lyrics and vocals, I think that definitely overshadows the good quickly. When you delete those vocals, the psychological goodness begins to emerge much more visibly. Okay, so like to quickly summarize all of this stuff up, psychological goodness in music is pretty simple. Is the song helping me psychologically? Is this track motivating me to crank out more reps? Is the song making me feel heard while in distress? Is the song improving my mood? Is the song distracting me while I clean my house under the duress of immense back pain because my body is ill-formed? These are some simple examples of psychological goodness in music. And if you've been paying close attention, you might be starting to notice some overlap between these different metrics of goodness. Like, what's the realistic difference between psychology and utility? Don't we use music to improve our psychology? Then wouldn't that make psychology fall under utility? You are completely right to bring this up. I've actually been ordering each of these metrics of goodness in a hierarchy, with taste being at the rock bottom and psychology being the highest we've examined this far. All of these layers interplay with one another in an ever dynamic dance that's really beautiful, which leads me to the next layer up in the hierarchy of goodness: aesthetic. When you look it up on Google, aesthetics are a set of principles concerned with the nature and appreciation of beauty, especially in art. Basically, you could think of it as the study of beauty, or what makes things beautiful. Now, I mean, if I was able to bring the subjectivity people along this far into the video, This is where many of them are going to jump off. Please, I beg you, stay with me, but I know this is going to be a tough pill to swallow. The common modern wisdom is that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Nothing could be more subjective than aesthetics, right? One's perception of beauty is only a reflection of one's tastes. Now, there is another school of thought that says, yeah, there actually is objectivity in beauty and aesthetics. What someone likes is not the only indication of whether something is good or beautiful. I mean, I've actually made some of those arguments earlier in the video. And I think this is the main hang-up most people in the music subjectivity crowd have. When someone tells them that music is objective, they interpret that as a person saying there are objectively better and worse forms of music. For example, metal elitists shitting on every modern pop song known to mankind, or people who think country music is just all bad, and they're right. Or even reverse that dynamic. Christians who believe metal music is inherently evil. Yes, those.
Unless you start falling in love with a girl and she happens to be way into country, and so you're a bit more, I guess you could say, lenient, and you dive into it a bit more. And I will say modern country is ass. Radio country these days is total ass. It all sounds the same. It's over polished. It's crap. But like 90s country, even 80s, 70s going back, pretty good, actually. Like some enjoyable songs and shit.
People still exist today. I am not making any claims remotely like that. I think those are far too generalized to capture the nuance of what makes good and bad music. Now, what I would say is that something like classical music will almost always be more sophisticated than something like country music. You could think of them as being in places in a hierarchy. Classical being higher up the hierarchy and country being lower. But that does not make one better than the other. The moment we bring up hierarchies, people's first instinct is to think of higher on the hierarchy as better, like a tier list. But that's not necessarily the case. For instance, the three material sciences, physics, chemistry, and biology, are on a hierarchy. All of them are necessary levels of analysis, and all of them are equally good. Or look at the hierarchy of language. It consists of words, sentences, paragraphs, and narratives. All are necessary for language to be grasped. All are equally good. So in my own framework or estimation of music hierarchy, what determines how high or low a genre or style is placed in? Well, I use the term sophistication, but what I really think is more accurate and what I want to point people towards is what is the potential for transcendence?
Transcendence of getting little, the I self, where I'm looking outward, as opposed to the me self that I'm so stuck in where I'm looking inward. You need to stand in awe of something that's not you to unfocus on yourself.
If the aim of aesthetics is towards transcendence, which the majority of philosophers agree with, then the potential for transcendence should be how these genres or styles are ordered. This does not make one genre better than the other. Trust me, there's so many different ways of evaluating this. For example, I don't need a classical aria to show my children that I love them. And in fact, it would almost certainly be lost on them. They require something more base to relate to, like
Skinnamarink-y dinky dinks, skinnamarink-y doo. I love you.
Children's music is near the bottom of the hierarchy of transcendence, but it's also some of the best music ever written, which is why so much of it is timeless. Even people who love listening to complex, nuanced classical music, you know, trying to use a chimney sweep up their own asshole, even they need time for engaging with something far more simplified and grounded. In my humble opinion, having a balance of music you enjoy or engage with along all parts of the aesthetic hierarchy seems to be the healthiest and most well-rounded way of engaging with music. Is it absolutely necessary? No, definitely not. But understanding and enjoying music up and down the hierarchy, I think helps one mature and grow as a person. Taking a look at one track towards the lower end of the hierarchy, what's the aesthetic goodness of Friday? Well, I mean, let's begin with saying there is definitely aesthetic goodness in the song. I'm not joking, it's there. Like I've been harping on, mute the vocals and just listen to the instrumental of the chorus. That's a pretty standard Radio Disney-esque 2010s pop chorus. There's nothing fancy there, but it's not devoid of beauty or form. It gets its very simple job done. It's bright, positive, fun. It's very sweet. It has basic cadence and tension and release. Makes you want to bob your head a bit. Now, if we want to go up a tier in the hierarchy of aesthetic analysis, does this song really accurately simulate the feeling of Friday during a school year? On a surface level, you could say it matches the excitement. That excitement in that music is not uniquely Friday, but it still is aesthetically compatible with the emotion of it being Friday in school. Fridays as a kid were exciting and fun, and the music is exciting and fun. So even though the emotion of the song isn't so refined as to be unmistakably Friday, it's not aesthetically incoherent. The emotions of the situation and the music are compatible. But now let's bring in the vocals. The combination of very nasally vocals, usually associated with annoyance, nagging, and whining, the strongly auto-tuned vocals, which neutralizes the human element in a vocal performance, and the lyrics being on the cusp of absurd, it becomes both unrelatable and repulsive. The music bed, which gave us some fertile ground to highlight the vocals and make them the star of the show, is now psychologically associated with emotional disconnect and annoyance.
What's going on here?
So while there is clear aesthetic goodness in this song, one element is done so horrifically wrong that it has spoiled the entire piece. There is way more to dive into with aesthetics, so many different schools of thought and lenses to use. It would be impossible to list all of them in this video. In fact, I'll be making several videos on aesthetics, how we can evaluate them, and why they are important. But if I can leave you with two things to take away regarding aesthetics and objectivity. Styles of music can be placed on a hierarchy according to level of potential transcendence, and aesthetics are directly tied to meaning in the mind. Okay, the last metric of music goodness is the absolute most important of all. They all rise or fall on this one metric: moral. It doesn't matter how good a song is to your taste. It doesn't matter how well it fits into the definition of music. It doesn't matter how well it was used or how much it helped you psychologically or how aesthetically proficient it is. If the song is morally bad, it is a bad song, full stop. All of the other 5 metrics of music goodness are subordinate to the moral good. Why is it good that a song helps you crank out more reps? Well, I mean, because it's morally good to take care of your body. Why is it good that this song fits so well in this video game? Well, it's because good art should point us towards truth, beauty, and goodness. These are the ultimate ends of all of these means. Even if
I'm wondering if this is the point where he's going to lose me.
if you think morality is fake and gay, moral intuitions are inescapable. I'm really not sure what else to say about morality without abandoning music disc.
I would agree with that if it wasn't for the if it wasn't for quite a whole lot of things, honestly. The recent Epstein files being one of them.
Course entirely. All of these other metrics of music goodness will be getting further videos to explain them. As of now, I am unsure if morality will. I can tell you that the more I learned and reflected through this entire process, the more I realized that aesthetics and morality are actually two sides of the same coin. The number of parallels between aesthetics and morality are astounding. Then you consider how tightly they're both tied to meaning, and it all begins to make a lot more sense. Do you remember the thesis of the video that music is contextual? Well, do you know what else is contextual? Morality. Seems like a very strange thing for a Catholic to say, right? You'd expect me to like hammer my fist down and ruin the vibrations coming through my microphone yet again. You'd expect me to say that morality is purely objective. There's no room for argument. Well, let me give you an example.
Yeah,
say you're driving back home from work and you're going 90 miles per hour in a 55. That's 35 over, and that's crazy fast. We would all say that's morally wrong, right? You're putting innocent lives in danger. Now, same scenario, you're driving.
Okay.
To say, right? You'd expect me to like hammer my fist down and ruin the vibrations coming through my microphone yet again. You'd expect me to say that morality is purely objective. There's no room for argument. Well,
I mean that's literally my belief is that morality is definitionally like subjective, removed from religious texts, etc.
Well, let me give you an example. Say you're driving back home from work and you're going 90 miles per hour in a 55. That's 35 over, and that's crazy fast. We would all say that's morally wrong, right? You're putting innocent lives in danger. Now, same scenario, you're driving 90 in a 55, but you're rushing your pregnant wife to the hospital who is bleeding out, and time is of the essence. Now we would say going 35 miles over the speed limit is not bad. In fact, police in these circumstances are ordered to escort you to the hospital if they see you doing this. Driving 90 in a 55 objectively puts innocent lives at higher risk. But there may be a scenario in which it is permissible to put those lives at higher risk. The morality of preserving human life and dignity didn't change. That stays the same. The circumstances did change. Now, there are several other parallels, and I may talk about them in future videos, but I must emphasize again, all metrics of music goodness are subordinate to morality. If you don't think so, I mean, I have a bunch of music from 1930s Germany that I'm sure you're going to find wonderfully morally neutral, like the Judenblut, chanted by soldiers as they march down the streets, striking horror in the hearts of citizens, with amazing lyrics like this, what's on screen, that I won't say out loud because YouTube can get really touchy about stuff like this. Things this grotesque and evil and bigoted. I am positive that however much of a banger that trumpet solo was, you'd still call this song objectively bad. This wasn't an accident of taste and culture. This was music doing exactly what it was designed for. Evil. Now consider the moral value of a song like Friday, and the fact that it was called the worst song ever written. Compare that to the Judenblut, and suddenly, Friday ain't so bad, actually. It's downright innocent by comparison. Now, there's one more metric of goodness that a lot of people include on their own lists that I outright reject and frankly want to put in its proper place, which is not anywhere close to goodness. And that is self-expression. I can't think of a larger rallying cry from the music subjectivist crowd than, if you made music, then it's good, because it's all good, man. Much like the Judenblut example, I very much doubt they truly hold this position under any real scrutiny. But the underlying ethos that guides modern music and poisons the minds of aimless hedonists is the idea that self-expression is king. As long as you expressed yourself, then it's good.
His name is Foot. He always likes to roam.
They speak of self.
My pal Foot. Wow, the Shags. That's a deep reference right there.
But the underlying ethos that guides modern music and poisons the minds of aimless hedonists is the idea that self-expression is king. As long as you expressed yourself, then it's good.
His name is Foot. He always likes to roam.
They speak of self-expression as though it were a fundamental moral good. Spoilers, it's not. And unless you want to call the Judenblut good, you know it's not. Now, you might reply, Mike, it is good when people express themselves. There's even studies that show that when people express themselves through art, it improves their mental health. Yes, I agree that expressing yourself can have a good psychological side effect, but that doesn't make it a fundamental good. Self-expression is morally neutral. And self-expression is not even a fundamental goal of art or aesthetics. There are many people, even in the popular music industry, who write songs about people, places, and things that they never experienced for themselves. They aren't writing to express themselves. They're writing to serve others, both the people asking them to write the songs, but then also making it convincing enough that the audience who listens to it believes what they're hearing. That's called service. The fundamental purpose of music, like I said, is to connect people with meaning through transcendence, through touching the beautiful, the good, and the true. And if you're wondering why society gets more and more self-centered or even self-obsessed each passing year, one major problem is the idolatry of self-expression.
That's what everybody's thinking all day long. Me. That's called the psychodrama. The psychodrama is that terrible quotidian
through touching the beautiful, the good, and the true. Ridiculous. And if you're wondering why society gets more and more self-centered or even self-obsessed each passing year, one major problem is the idolatry of self-expression.
That's what everybody's thinking all day long.
Is that what that is, Wall of
That's
Shame?
called the psychodrama.
Adidas?
The psychodrama is that terrible quotidian obsession that I have. It's me. I'm the star of everything. It's just so horrible. It's like, give me a break, man. Give me a break from me. That's why so often in this show, I talk about the importance of transcendence, of getting little, the I self, where I'm looking outward, as opposed to the me self that I'm so stuck in, where I'm looking inward. And when I say me, I mean all of us, folks. You need to stand in awe of something that's not you, to unfocus on yourself. But I got news for you. It's hard to do it, and people aren't doing it.
Art fundamentally should serve. It should facilitate audience in touching truth, beauty, and goodness. In conclusion, is Friday a good song? No, obviously not. Is it one of the worst songs ever written? I'd say definitely not, especially in a world where the Judenblut exists. It's exceptionally annoying and hard to listen to. So in that sense, I'd argue it's quite bad. But I'd argue that objectively, there is goodness in it. Not shitloads, but it's there. I think there are enough strikes against Friday that we could objectively evaluate it as a bad song, even if it isn't devoid of goodness. For many of you, the answers in this video may have actually created far more questions. This video is already about an hour long, and I only scratched the surface of the paradigm I'm working in. There will be many more videos diving into more depth, like I said ad nauseum at this point. But I bet one of the biggest questions you're asking yourself is, why did Mike take the time to make this? Seems needlessly complicated. Music is pretty simple at the end of the day. But is music really that simple? Like, really? So simple you could sum it up in a few words. If you find yourself growing tired of music discourse, or the same kinds of music coming out from the same artists over and over again, then you're in good company, because I am in the same boat. I've changed a lot in the last 2 years, and as I've grown, I've found myself becoming interested in different things and losing interest in things that once held my attention. I also realized that I had a lot more potential in me that I wasn't pushing for, and actually felt captured in a cycle that meant I could never realize that potential unless I made some personal changes. This is the result of redefining my mission because I grew up. Art right now is suffering, and people are suffering. And there is a deep ache for meaning in our world that the cult of subjectivity will never be able to have an answer for. In fact, it consistently subverts meaning, pulling us further away from it and pulling us further away from beauty and consequence. Nothing actually matters, so anything will do. That is a poison, and it needs to be destroyed. But we can't simply say music is objective and a deep ache for meaning in our world that the cult of subjectivity will never be able to have an answer for. In fact, it consistently subverts meaning, pulling us further away from it and pulling us further away from beauty and consequence. Nothing actually matters, so anything will do. That is a poison, and it needs to be destroyed. But we can't simply say music is objective and simply leave it at that. There is...
I don't think it's that simple. I really don't. It's also not that, like, one-dimensional either, and I think Mike would agree with that. Nothing matters is... It is a subjective statement, but I don't think it's invalid. It's... God, this is like philosophy that goes back centuries, isn't it? I don't believe in nihilism. I'll say that right now. I had a chat with a lovely lady, an acquaintance of mine. What the hell? This is crazy. 24 players? What? Sorry, I'm like getting distracted. And she put it to me so succinctly. She's an influencer, and we met for drinks, and she put it to me so succinctly, like, "Oh, you're a nihilist? Kill yourself then. Oh, if nothing matters, like, what's stopping you, you know?" And my position has always been, we create our own meaning, and who are you, or who is anybody, to tell us that our meaning that we derive for ourselves is invalid? You know, especially if we make it ourselves, because you can say, like, oh, you're getting it from this cult of personality, or this set of religious ideals, or this political ideology, or what have you, you know? And I mean, look no further than where we are today. A lot, a lot of misguided people. Wow, I wasn't even near that. Come on. Anyway, that's a whole other conversation. It's a very deep one that has been expounded upon for centuries at this point.
Equal danger that could arrive from the opposite direction, a pride of calcified form, or of beauty maxing for its own sake, or misunderstanding what beauty is and why it's important. Thus,
I'll say this, I would love to share a drink with Mike one day.
destroying things that could be very good and useful for others.
And by that I mean separate drinks, but we're at the same bar.
Or of beauty maxing for its own sake, or misunderstanding what beauty is and why it's important, thus destroying things that could be very good and useful for others to touch transcendence. If we don't touch this topic of objectivity in music with the proper humility, thus destroying things that could be very good and useful for others to touch transcendence. If we don't touch this topic of objectivity in music with the proper humility, especially believing that, say it with me, music is ineffable. We can become artistic tyrants who destroy beauty by using oppression. This endeavor is not going to be easy, and I have no illusion that I have all the answers. No freaking way. But if we actually want to move music discourse forward, if we want to make better and more meaningful art instead of this droll, same shit as always, I'm gonna be stuck in my addled benzo brain forever music, we need to start taking out the trash. And trash art comes from trash philosophy. Next video, I'll either be replying to your comments and questions from the first 2 videos, or we'll start our first deep dive into taste, and likely talking about Taylor Swift, the queen
fuck
of
is
pop.
this shit?
Thank you guys so much
What
for
the
watching. I love you. God bless.
Why did that matter? What? Shit. That was fucking weird. Why did that happen? Anyway, good video. Respect the hell of him. Make sure you guys subscribe to him. I don't want to I'm basically stealing content. So go show Become the Night some love and whatnot. And what the fuck is up with the internet?
Terrorists win. Oh, for crying out loud.
God damn it. Where's the sound? Oh, there it is. Okay. Alright.
When I took a ride in the dead of night and told myself that everything's okay. Try to understand how you're standing over me, and girl, it's driving me crazy. It's freezing fucking cold in the dead of night. The only heat that comes from the ashtray. I might as well get high as hell and just keep acting like everything doesn't faze me. Yeah, take me all the way to the top, baby. Don't even if I tell you to stop, baby. Take me all the way to the sky, baby. Baby, I wanna go up there, and I don't ever wanna come down. I wanna see what's up there, acting like I got it all figured out. I wanna go up there, and I don't ever wanna come down. I wanna see what's up there. Must be better than the hell on the ground.
Oh my god. God damn it. Wow.
It's freezing fucking cold in the dead night. The only drop the top with no roll guys. And now my sound irrelevant, but I prefer to stack my chips when everything falling. And I ain't religious, but I look up to the sky and pray to anyone holy. I've been drinking way too much, and man, I got the blues because my baby don't hold me. Take me all the way to the top, baby. Don't even if I tell you to stop, baby. Take me all the way to the sky, baby. Baby, I wanna go up there, and I don't ever wanna come down. I wanna see what's up there, acting like I got it all figured out. I wanna go up there, and I don't ever wanna come down. I wanna see what's up there. Must be better than the hell on the ground. I wanna go up there,
gotta go away from the camera real quick. I'll be right back.
Prisoner free. Hostage has been killed. Hostage has been killed.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Prisoner freed.
Big yawn. Hi, kitty. Hi, sleepyhead. Hi, baby.
Seals victorious.
I've got control of a hostage.
losing my mind. Oh wow! Dead? Who killed him?
when.
Yeah, you little fucker. Hello, cutie butt. How you doing? Hello, baby. You want my attention, don't you? Hello. Hello, baby.
Seals victorious.
Actually, yeah.
Bastard to the ground.
I'm a little loud. It's a bit too loud. Haha! This whole time. Hello, everybody. I'm taking song requests. If you guys want me to add a song to the queue. Looks like nobody playing. Did you see someone? I did see someone. Oh, I see the blood everywhere. See? Yeah, alright. Burn it to the ground. Please, burn this entire fucking society to the goddamn ground. It doesn't deserve to exist. Oh, give me a shotgun? Fuck me, dude. Fuck it. Alright. 10-14 time then. Fuck it. What are you gonna do? Let's burn this bastard to the ground. Burn, 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 burn. Go, 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 go. Yeah. Wow, of course. God damn, with the fucking shotgun again. Ah, it's so funny. Come on, your ass. You're not even gonna play. Dun 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 dun. Oh my god, you with the fucking shotgun again! You're a bitch. fuck yeah, here we go. Love those songs. Hello? What the fuck? Yeah. Fuck you! From behind the building? Come on! Alright, well, let's hope the other fucking room is open. Let me come undone in your mouth.
ultimate fourth-dimensional guitar hero, Ziltoid feels confident in his complete victory. But Captain Spectacular has seen through Ziltoid's facade, and now sets out to expose Ziltoid for what he really is.
A nerd. A nerd.
We now join Captain Spectacular as he introspectively gazes out his starship window on his way to find the fifth dimensional Nebuloan 9.
I fucking love Devin Townsend so much.
Did you know that time
is not a straight line?
Everything
The mercenaries have been eliminated. Seals victorious.
You take your turn. If you choose, you burn. Everything that you were. Now
It's gone. Gone away.
Yeah, it's good. Grenade! Fire in the hole!
Gone. And the world is gone. Waiting for the light to come. Dear kid. My fellow humans. Captain Spectacular.
The seals have been eliminated. Mercenaries win.
Into my mind. What? Indeed. Yeah.
Seals
Yeah.
Grenade! Tango down! Grenade!
Shit! That was close.
The mercenaries have been
Damn, that was quick.
Woo!
Woo!
Victorious.
Ooh. Uh-oh. Spinel, what are you doing? Hi. What are you doing? Yeah. What? Curses.
The mercenaries have been eliminated.
Until we meet again.
Seals victorious.
Ugh. Yeah. Yeah. Shit, yeah. How many fucking rounds are there?
Then take my hands. Now, who do you trust? Now, then take your arms. Now, then take your legs. Then take my hands. I sat up cold. Can feel those cracking claws.
Bomb planted.
Who do you? Do you trust? Now, take your arms. Now, then take your legs off. And now, why can't I pick up the fucking satchel?
Demolition successful.
Oh, because they planted it. Yeah, I see you. Just fits.
The seals have been eliminated. Mercenaries win.
Rift time. Yep.
Mercenaries win.
In the meantime, fuck you. Hi, Goddess Rose Buds. Hello. Do I know you? Even if I don't know you, make sure you subscribe. I mean, hi, want to request a song? Thank you for joining. Means a lot, obviously.
The seals have been eliminated. Mercenaries win. Bomb planted.
don't be all sneaky and mysterious and nefarious, or do like it's your right, I guess. Oh my God, what? What's up? Throw the fucking goddamn grenade. Watch where you spit!
Mercenaries have been eliminated. Seals victorious.
Then you got hit! Shoulda known better. You got me morbidly curious, Goddess Rosebud. Another hit? Marry on, brother. Oh my God, there's no way. L. Suit yourself. You got it. Shoulda known better. Hell yeah. I gotta pee. The game is too close.
Mercenaries win.
Wow, what an incredible grenade.
Mercenaries win.
Amazing.
The seals have been eliminated. Mercenaries win. I'll be right back.
Alright, ending the stream. I got other shit to do, unfortunately.